All right, grab your winter toque and your rubber boots because today's explainer is taking us straight into the Great White North. We are going on a Canadian farm adventure to explore the sheer resilience of northern agriculture, and we'll be looking closely at how some of the toughest, most unique farm animals adapt to survive extreme climates.
Okay, let's dive right into this. If you know anything about the Canadian climate, you know it is a land of massive extremes. We get these lush, gorgeous, really warm summers, but they are inevitably followed by incredibly harsh, freezing winters packed with icy winds and deep snow. So, how exactly do farm animals survive and even thrive in an environment that shifts so drastically? Well, as you'll see, the adaptations are nothing short of incredible.
Section 1. Cattle and Foraging Pigs.
If you're looking out over a typical Canadian pasture, you're almost guaranteed to spot Black Angus and Holsteins. These guys are the most prominent cattle in the country, and for good reason. They basically form the backbone of Canada's agricultural production, giving us rich dairy and premium beef. But what makes them truly Canadian is their adaptability. These heavyweights absolutely love grazing on lush northern pastures during the long, warm summer days, but they instinctively know to retreat to the safety and warmth of the barns the second that snow starts falling.
Now, what's really interesting about this next number, 400, is that it represents over 4 centuries of incredible Canadian history. We're talking about the little Canadian cow. This is an exceptionally rare heritage dairy breed that was developed over 400 years ago to survive the absolute bitterest of cold northern winters. They were bred specifically for extreme hardiness, a super efficient metabolism, and an intelligence that lets them navigate harsh terrain way better than most modern breeds.
You can almost hear the sentiment out in the pasture as the season shifts, right? Moo! Time to munch on fresh clover and watch the maple leaves fall. It's this beautiful autumn transition, but it also signals a biological imperative to bulk up and build insulation before the snow sets in. Moving away from the open pastures and over to the forest edge, we've got the pigs. Pigs in Canada really thrive when they have wide open spaces to forage. And here we see a fascinating blend of heritage genetics and modern agricultural science. Take the Tamworth pig, for example. It's this striking red-golden animal that handles cool northern weather like a champ thanks to its darker skin and super active foraging habits. Then you have the Lacone pig. This breed was actually brilliantly engineered by researchers at a station in Alberta specifically for the Canadian climate. They're highly valued for their long bodies, robust health, and for being fantastic mothers to their piglets even in much cooler environments.
But hey, no matter the specific breed, harvest time is pretty universal on the farm. The vibe in the pen is basically oink oink, pass the root veggies and apples, please. Foraging for these high-calorie autumn crops is absolutely crucial for these animals to store energy. It's a super efficient system that preps the whole farmyard for the big freeze ahead.
Section 2. Frost-resistant sheep and mighty equines.
So the crucial point when it comes to Canada's chilly winters is that sheep rely on highly specialized coats to stay warm when the temperatures plummet. Take the Rideau Arcot. Canadian scientists actually developed this specific breed to maximize both cold weather survival and high reproduction rates, so they thrive while raising healthy lambs up north. The Canadian Cheviot, on the other hand, naturally adapted a completely different evolutionary advantage. They are super alert and feature this unique wool-free face and legs. It sounds counterintuitive, but this specific adaptation prevents snow from clumping up on their extremities, making them perfectly suited for running up and down steep, chilly northern hills without getting weighed down.
It really is all about that natural winter coat. A hearty "ba" from the flock is a great reminder of how their thick wool acts as a natural, highly efficient furnace against the snow. That dense fleece traps a layer of warm air literally right against their skin, providing perfect insulation when the whole landscape freezes solid. All right, let's look at the true athletes of the northern farm, the Canadian horse. This breed has a wildly rich, centuries-old history. Known respectfully as the Little Iron Horse of Canada, the ancestors of this exceptionally rugged breed were originally gifted by King Louis XIV of France. They're elegant, sure, but they possess this incredibly dense bone structure and immense physical endurance that has allowed them to clear rugged land and survive the absolute harshest winter elements generation after generation.
And when we're talking about heavy lifting, you simply can't forget the Percherons and Clydesdales. These are the massive, gentle draft horses of the agricultural world. A really vital survival feature for these giants is the beautiful thick feathering around their hooves. That extra dense hair acts as natural insulation, protecting their lower legs against icy, abrasive snow, which lets them effortlessly pull heavy farm wagons and snow clearing equipment straight through the deepest winter drifts. With an energetic, "Nay!" let's trot through the crisp autumn air, you can truly sense the raw power and majesty of these northern workers. Their unbelievable stamina has genuinely shaped the agricultural landscape of the entire country. Let's move on to Section 3, Feathered Champions and Curious Goats. Now, this brilliantly illustrates just how critical specialized breeding is up north to prevent injury. Standard chickens have those large, prominent red combs on their heads, right? Well, those are highly susceptible to painful frostbite in sub-zero winds. But the Chanticleer chicken offers an ingenious biological solution. Developed in Quebec specifically to withstand freezing winter temperatures, the Chanticleer was selectively bred to have a tiny, almost completely flat comb. This drastic reduction in exposed tissue basically eliminates their risk of frostbite. It's a perfectly practical, climate-driven adaptation. Cluck, cluck, honk, honk, ready for another beautiful farm day. That lively barnyard chorus is unmistakable. And honestly, you can't discuss feathered champions in Canada without at least a quick shout-out to the famous domestic and wild Canadian geese. Their thick down feathers allow them to comfortably patrol the edges of icy farm ponds, basically acting as a really loud natural alarm system for the rest of the pasture. Moving over to the rocky farm terrain, we find the goats. Goats in Canada are just incredibly adaptable and agile. Alpine and Saanen goats are super efficient dairy breeds that absolutely thrive on Canadian homesteads. They are master branch snackers, efficiently converting rough forage into high-quality sweet milk. And for pure chaotic energy, pygmy goats are a staple. These small, robust animals are naturally inquisitive and easily navigate the varied, uneven terrain of a rural farm, usually providing endless laughs for anyone watching. That adventurous, agile spirit, captured perfectly by the "Ma, watch me balance on this fallen log," is exactly what makes them so engaging. Plus, that physical dexterity is a massive advantage when they're foraging in dense or uneven northern landscapes. Let's head into our final stop, Section 4, Unique Canadian Farm Stars. You know, Canadian farming extends way beyond traditional cattle and poultry. The sheer diversity of agricultural habitats here requires specialized livestock. Out on the vast western ranches, you've got American bison. These massive, roaming, shaggy giants easily shrug off severe blizzard conditions thanks to their incredibly dense hides. Further east and west, dotted across family farms in Ontario and British Columbia, alpacas are raised specifically to cultivate ultra-soft winter fleece. And during the intensely short, sweet Canadian summers, honeybees work in absolute overdrive, rapidly pollinating clover fields and apple orchards to stockpile enough honey to survive the impending freeze. The distinct buzz collecting nectar from the clover fields is the soundtrack of a very brief agricultural window. It's a short, super intense season for these pollinators, but their biological drive to work quickly sweetens the long winter months for everyone else. So, what does this all mean? We've seen 400-year-old heritage cows with hyper-efficient metabolisms, selectively bred frost-resistant chickens, and literal blizzard-shrugging bison. The way agricultural science and natural evolution have combined to help these animals survive and truly thrive in one of the most challenging climates on Earth is absolutely fascinating. As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. Considering all these incredible, specialized adaptations we've explored, which Canadian farm animal do you relate to most? Or, if you were managing your own northern homestead, which species would you want to help raise? Think about it, keep exploring the amazing science of agriculture, and I'll catch you on the next one.